The curtain will soon close on the Tiffany Henyard show.
And I did not vote for that woman, and I never didn't vote for her before. But I'm gonna give me something to eat today.
I like the giveaways, but I don't like her. She's nasty.
Welcome back, Warriors. This is me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Tiffany Henyard, Ghetto mayor out of village of Dolton. She was defeated recently, and she's going to be out the door. But what's really going down with Tiffany Henyard? And is she going to make a comeback? Before we get into the video, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, hit all notifications so that you never, ever miss a video that I post. Now, let's get into it. Before I get into this clip, this news clips with WGN9, you all remember the videos that I've done with Tiffany Henyard. I've done a number of them. This woman, there was fraud. Okay, money, taxpayer money was being used to furnish her lavish lifestyle, her clothing, her makeup, her weave, everything else. Personal security detail, taking policemen off the street. There was, and this is, I'm just going to say alleged, and also an alleged incident where allegedly a couple of her hitmen targeted a resident who went up against her verbally in public. I'm like, this is insanity. And that whole Tiffany cares is like Tiffany doesn't care. Remember that whole thing about cancer and everything? That was just another money laundering thing, allegedly. And the whole trip to Vegas. We're just going to go through this. These clips are amazing. I think this woman might be planning a comeback.
Proclaimed Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard leaves office in the next few weeks after being badly beaten at the ballot box. Questionable spending, clashes with trustees, and an ongoing FBI investigation led to her undoing.
Investigative reporter Ben Bradley broke many of the stories that exposed the issues, and tonight he returns to the south suburbs for a new accounting of Henyard's ring.
I love y'all, and nothing you can do about it.
The curtain will soon close on the Tiffany Henyard show, but not before one last dance. We were there for Henyard's final food giveaway and a new tally of what she's cost taxpayers. On Easter weekend, cars lined up for blocks, tens of thousands of tax dollars spent for another one of Henyard's famous food giveaways.
Mute this because of the copyright reason, but she's giving away food. Supervisor Tiffany A. Henyard, this is the Thornton Township. So she gives away food, and we're going to hear this woman right here.
And I did not vote for that woman, and I never didn't vote for her before, but I'm gonna give me something to eat today.
I like the giveaways, but I don't like her. She's nasty.
She's giving us back what we already gave, but ain't nobody else doing that either.
She's also benefited handsomely and questionably. Newly obtained records show last year Henyard was paid more than $347,000 from Dolton and Thornton Township, the two governments she runs. That's more than Chicago's mayor makes. Henyard's comp includes $282,000 from the township, which also gave her a $4,900 per month expense allowance and an $1,100 monthly vehicle allowance.
Wait a minute. She got, first of all, between Dolton and Thornton Township, she was making almost $350,000. Most of that is from the Thornton Township supervisor role of $282,800 and something dollars, but she was giving a living expense of $49.50 a month, almost $5,000, and on top of that, a vehicle allowance of over $1,100 a month. Oh, she was living high off the hog. I want to be there too. I want to be the supervisor of Thornton Township. Can y'all get somebody who from Georgia? I want to do. That is crazy.
That's despite the fact Dolton taxpayers spent six figures on two SUVs police used to chauffeur Henyard.
Trustee Gray Everett, Supervisor Henyard.
And did we mention Henyard hasn't attended a single meeting since she lost re-election?
All right, so he's asking her, why hasn't she been to board meetings? You know, and she just still ignoring and being silly as always, because that's how she does, pretty much ignoring him. Why haven't you been to any city council meetings? And she was like not giving, no, she's not giving her answer.
Stephanie Wiedemann worked for the township for 20 years and blew the whistle on many of Henyard's antics.
If she had just said, oh, I made a mistake, everybody would have moved on. We pointed out the mistakes and she put on the show. You know, everybody paid attention because every 2 weeks it was like a sitcom.
Y'all are black, and y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
See, I got to stop this right here. This is one of the main things I can't stand that Democrats use. They use color to make Black people vote a certain way. And again, the town that she was over is more than 90% Black. And she feels like because she's Black, she should not be, critiqued or criticized in any kind of way. She just said, y'all Black, you should be ashamed of yourselves talking about a Black woman in power. So we don't have a right to see something wrong and say something about it. She talking about you doing this to a Black woman in power. How about you doing things you shouldn't be doing to the citizens who are taxpayers, law-abiding taxpayers, and they're looking at you with your Black face that they unfortunately didn't have discernment not to vote for your raggedy ghetto behind. Yes, I said raggedy and I said ghetto in the same sentence.
That's costing the village money.
I don't have that call.
All right.
Okay.
What was she supposed to do? You wanted her to expound on that? Don't drag out the meeting.
I made a motion.
WGN Investigates has documented first-class trips for Henyard and her entourage that cost taxpayers well over $100,000. There was a stay at a Four Seasons and steak dinners. In late 2023, this was how she explained it.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Taxpayers are the ones stuck with the bill. The supervisor and others get unusual perks, including $600 a day for every day they travel out of state for the township and $400 per day for travel within Illinois, plus the cost of their travel expenses. We asked Henyard's successor whether he agrees with the supersized paydays.
What you make is based upon what you are able to deliver. That's more so saying like, people believe that professional athletes shouldn't get paid millions of dollars, that doctors should be, or teachers for that matter. So I'm not going to get here and go into a debate about what should be getting or what should be this salary of this.
With what we've been through and how easily we saw it is to abuse the system, I think it's important that the residents pay attention and continue to pay attention and continue to hold people accountable.
Despite it all, the spending, a questionable cancer charity, an ongoing FBI investigation, and even a brawl at a board meeting. Henyard still has her supporters.
I think she's doing what men have been doing for years as far as her security and all those things. She needs that.
She give back to the community. So, what more can people ask for?
Next for me. Stay tuned.
So there you heard it. There's a lot next for her. So stay tuned. This woman's going to try and make a comeback. I don't think she's going anywhere. She'll pop up in some other sort of capacity. She's a demon rat. And those demon rats love to use Black folks to do the dirty work while keeping the other Black people oppressed. If you look at all those towns, Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson, okay, and that's crazy that he lives in a very dangerous city. There's a huge population and he makes less than she does, but he probably doing less work than her. She too busy flouncing around like she Miss Ghetto Beauty Queen. But in any event, these populations of these towns, and I've told you this, guys, before, they have a huge Black population. The Democrats know that we're sensitive to skin color because they've already indoctrinated us that way through media and the movies and maybe even the public school system. They've done it. They've said it repeatedly. They use a case like this Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. If it was two Black boys, we wouldn't even know anything about it. If it was two white boys, we probably wouldn't even know anything about it. Because one is Black and one is white, that's what the media does. So in any event, Black people, it has caused us to be sensitive about skin color. We vote based on skin color, and we vote for Democrat because we've been trained also to think that the Democrats are for us. But if they are for us, then why would they get a Black politician, a Black Democrat politician in power? That area never does any better. It continues to go downhill, and in many cases worse and worse and worse. So that is how they keep you on what we call on the conservative side the Democrat plantation. And I'm trying to get people off the plantation, but they seem like they just want to stay on the plantation waving the Confederate flag. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? And all that kind of stuff. That's crazy. And this woman is not going anywhere. I'm telling you, she's going to make a comeback. I believe it. She said, stay tuned. She's too arrogant and narcissistic. And she spent all that money and she lost handsomely. She really lost because people got tired of her mess. And you see, she pulled the race card. Y'all black, you're black, you're black. You talking against me, a black woman in power. Well, you the wrong person in power. How about that? How about meritocracy instead of color? All right. So that's what Miss Tiffany Ghetto Henyard is up to these days. Yeah. And you know, it bothers me that some of the people were saying, well, she has given back to the community. One of the ladies was smarter. She said, well, she's giving back what we already gave. I mean, see, it's just to make it look like they're doing something. Not enough to make a difference. It's not enough to make a difference. It's just something to make people think that they're doing something. But when you look at your schools, the kids are not graduating reading at grade level, and you look at the crime and the drugs and all of that, the violence, and how everything is downtrodden, the infrastructure, the roads and everything are messed up, and bridges and everything. So where is that money going? Okay, it's going into the politicians' pockets, and we need to be smarter than to think, but they are doing something for me. They are helping the community. That's not helping the community. That's just enough. Just a little, it was a box with Tiffany on it, Tiffany supervisor, whatever on it. And I guess it had food in it. And the people who are poor, they're like, oh, she's doing something for us. See, she does care. No, she's doing just enough to keep you, and other Democrats do this around the country, not just her. It's all Democrats, even up to the federal level, do just enough to keep you voting for them, but not enough to actually make a difference. Ask them why they don't do anything about the failing school system. Ask them why they don't keep the illegals out. Ask them why they allow drugs and then everything else into the neighborhoods and gangs. Ask them why they don't do that. That's what will make a difference. When you can read and write at grade level, when you can succeed in life so that you don't resort to a life of crime. The demon rats orchestrate and put together a system that pushes or encourages crime, even though we still have to take self-accountability. It encourages crime. So they bring up the very thing that makes people want to commit crime and then lock you behind up for a long time to get you off the street and put abortion clinics in your neighborhood. We got to wake up. This is a system. And then call the Republicans racist when the Republicans didn't put drugs in the neighborhood. The Republicans did not do that. They did not put the gangs in there. They don't want these illegals here. President Trump is getting them out of here. The border is almost 100% secure. Y'all need to vote differently and pay attention to what your neighborhood and your schools and the crime look like. And don't be fooled by a little box with some goodies in it every now and then. Because that's like a slave mentality, thinking, well, she is helping. She gave me this right here, but your schools are failing. And the crime is all over the place. And drugs and terrorists are being put into Black communities, by the way. All right, we need to wake up. I want you to wake up. And I say this with a loving heart. I know I can come across blunt, but it is so bothersome to me to see that the Democrats control the media and the minds of most Black Americans, and it is highly unfortunate. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take. Jesus might have to come back, and then again, we won't care then. We're just going to go be with the Lord. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, hit all notifications. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.